Best pint of Guinness in Letterkenny, County Donegal. It was filled with drama, it was filled with highs, it was filled with lows, but most importantly, it was filled with creamy pints. Lads, I'm delighted to say this video is sponsored by West Cork Beard Company. Have you got a see-through, shitty, embarrassingly bad beard like me? Actually, I don't think it's that bad. It's getting better. Then you need West Cork Beard Company. So all their products are handmade in Clonakilty, County Cork. So everything you're buying is locally made. Hashtag support local. And Colin, the founder of West Cork Beard Company, actually has some cracking videos, some beard tutorial videos on YouTube. So definitely go and check them out. I mean, he's got an absolute mammoth of a beard on him. So he sent me a bunch of shite, some of my favorites definitely being the beard butter. All these products just smell so good. Just need a little small bit in the hand and rub that beautiful butter all over that beautiful beard. And you've got the beard balm, 2 regular beard oils, and a lavender and chamomile bedtime oil. Chamomile. So if you want to get 10% off the West Cork Beard Company website, use the code GURU at checkout, and Bob's your uncle, Mary's your auntie. And remember lads, you support the sponsors, you're supporting me. All handmade products in Clonakilty, County Cork. On to the video, let the carnage commence. Right lads, Letterkenny. I have got 5 pubs. How's it going? Fans. 5 pubs in Letterkenny, possibly a 6th, but trying to keep it to 5. Drove up with Mammy, so don't want to be getting back in the car absolutely pissed. I'm enjoying these kind of smaller towns. You go to the big cities, you kind of get swallowed up, no one gives a bollocks. First pub is going to be the Cottage Bar, where I'm going to meet a very good friend of mine, who I haven't actually met in person yet, but a sound bloke. Let's go Letterkenny. Right lads, pub 1, probably most recommended bar, the Cottage Bar.
Let's go, watch just like that.
You have the right idea though, going fucking during the week when it's quiet everywhere.
Alright lads, we're in the Cottage Bar. I'm gonna have a sup first before I introduce this man. Sláinte, I suppose,
Sláinte.
Not even having a pint. Shame.
Embarrassing.
You look tall on the stool anyway. We won't stand up.
This man's about 8 foot tall, no one told me.
Hold on, I'll just hold the mic in between us, be grand. At least it's not loud in here. So this is Eric Roberts,
How he's getting on, lads?
local Letterkenny Donegal legend. You've seen him probably on Instagram. And I actually, the OGs who've been around over a year or two will remember the Only Cans podcast. Didn't last long, but Eric was one of my maybe 10 guests.
We had
a great time.
Basically, yeah.
Did it on Zoom, so it was a load of shite. So it's our first time meeting. He's on the Lucasade because, what's the excuse?
A big derby game this weekend, and I'm training tonight. Unfortunately, I'm plaguing this man for about a year and a half.
You'd swear you were playing for Man United or something, big derby game.
If the boys found out I was on the fizzy drinks tonight, they mightn't be too happy. You know what I mean? This Division 2 football is taken very seriously up this part of the country.
Big time. So talk me through the pubs. It's actually, they're all just on the main street. It's the handiest video I'm ever going to do. And I try to take a few minutes between, but it's literally the next one's there.
It's like in a broad strip here in Letterkenny, so it's quite easy. They're not too spread out. And we're starting off in the cottage here. This was probably one of my recommendations now. This is where I would start off my night.
This was the highest recommended. Then Blake's across the road was second highest. Then Mcafferty's, unfortunately, honourable mention, was probably the 3rd, but it's closed.
They're closed down. They're
closed down.
No, well, they've closed for today, but they're refurbishing, and they changed their name to Sonny McSwine's or something, I think, recently as well.
I just got a message from something like Sonny McSomething, and then it said Mccafferty Bar Group or something.
They've changed their name to Sonny McSwine's.
But it says they're closed, but they said pop in, live music 9 o'clock.
Right, okay.
Might have to look into that.
Later on, I don't know. But no, this is normally where we would start a night, and the pints seem to be creamiest in here. So
are you a Guinness expert?
I don't want to toot my own horn. Basically, we did that podcast, and I started drinking Guinness soon after that. Would you believe that? You're influencing not just
Guinness. Do you hear this crack? Show me the wonga. It's not the first time I've heard that.
I would only have a Guinness Christmas Day with my father, and then after that I was thinking, what? Like, I'm sitting drinking vodka in the house here, I'll have a few cans, and I've transitioned into a Guinness man.
Actually, you were drinking a fucking vodka and Coke or something when we were doing the can.
Sitting for one drink.
Only cans, and he's drinking a bloody vodka.
Oh yeah, so I'm a Guinness man now. Yeah, you've converted me.
There we go. Right, I better actually do some sort of a review. This is lovely. Yeah. Too much talking, lad.
See, that'll get you in trouble.
Guests and all are great, but you can't be overlooking the pint.
Well, it's a real pub in here too, isn't it?
It is. I get me B-roll after it. You know the B. You must know that term. B-roll.
Yeah.
you know, as we say in the biz, the behind the scenes, but not even behind the scenes.
Like your granny's kitchen.
It really is. Actually, I'll play it over us talking about it. So you've got cups hanging out of the ceiling, you've got everything else hanging out of the ceiling, plates, china on the wall.
Pots and pans.
It's actually,
The open fire.
I've actually never seen a pub like this.
Every time I come in here, I think, how is it still in the tack that's in? Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, and even the window is like your granny's kitchen job.
1930s, that was installed.
Frozen, frosted glass, weird wiggly designs. But yeah, I've never. Usually the bar tack is all the Guinness signs and all that crack.
This place has a bit of a reputation, though, to be one of the more respected pubs in the town, where you would get all sorts in, but everyone's very respectful in here. This is kind of a number one.
So you kind of know.
Start your night 6 or 7.
No whacking the bollocks in here.
Exactly. Yeah. There's no kind of rowdiness in this.
There's pubs like that where they don't even need like bouncers or anything, because people just know like a stern word from someone, just go, lads, and that's it. You can be 10 lads, it's lads,
and I think that
and you go, bollocks.
This is your granny's kitchen. I think that translates into that. You've no messing in here. Do you
wouldn't
know what
mess
I
in
mean?
your granny's kitchen.
Yeah, that's
yeah,
the kind of
fair.
vibe it gives off. Like,
right, pint talk. Sitting by the fire, always a plus. I don't care what anybody says, it probably bumps the score by 0.1 or 0.2. Serious pint, to be fair. Stick is going to be pretty much perfect. Head getting a little bit skinny as we go down, which is creamy. Another strig.
you have it down to a T. Yeah.
There's not. I haven't even really extended the vocabulary too much.
What are you looking for in your perfect pint? Now break that down to me. What are we looking for here when we're saying perfect pint? Because I hear you going up the shtick and I hear you going up the dome.
I would say the dome and the head is nearly more important than the shtick. You want the dome to come over. I probably like more of a dome than a real proper Guinness connoisseur.
You've invented this.
I wouldn't say I invented the tilt test, but I would say the whole talking about the word dome has been around forever. Mm-hmm. But you know, like shtick, domage, we'll be putting that in a teacher's tune. That's how you create a brand there.
In the Oxford Dictionary.
Yeah, but yeah, definitely. Like sometimes I don't know how, but you get the dome will be so high over the top, but because it's so thick, you can do that and it won't fall. Love that. Big head, but obviously not past the harp. Also a glass, but it's a given you're going to get it around somewhere around here. Shtick is important, not totally crucial, but it's important to sell merch.
Of course, yeah. Shtick.
And decent temperature and just creamy and thick. I would say this is creamy, not the creamiest pint I've ever had in my life, but it's a lovely pint. Also, first pint after a 3-hour drive. Hard to not give it a good score.
I don't know if you've seen that pint I tagged you in the airport. It was actually fizzy in the London airport. Like it made me.
I'll put it up on the screen. London airport.
London. We were in London. We stopped over for 4 hours. It was about 9:30 in the morning. I've been travelling all night.
What is it about London?
It was fizzy. I feel like the Guinness guru. We're going to review this point, yeah. That's not how he speaks. Fizzy Guinness, and I've never experienced that in my life. And I was hoping to do a good review. Like, oh, it's creamy and stick, and I just went.
Oh, Jesus Christ!
Has that happened a couple of times?
Jeez, you send me. Not when I've gone to do the review, like the.
It's only really across the pond.
I get recommended places. That's the thing. I don't just go to. If I just went to random places, then it would be I could get shy pints, and like you'd be getting pints like shitting on the Guinness and all. But I've rarely gotten. Actually, you know what? You were in that Three Sisters place, weren't you?
Oh, Jesus.
I remember I think we were talking to the podcast, and you were like, "Oh, I didn't see more than the four corners of the Three Sisters." Then I went last week, and I was like, "I remember that cunt talking about the Three Sisters," and I was like, "It's just you just sit there the whole day." That was probably the worst pint I've had in a long time. And then obviously,
the pond, they're just going to go down.
Yeah, and then you go further across the next pond, and it's just game over. You just can't guarantee a good pint. But I'll give this a score. I was told the bar wouldn't be set super high in Letterkenny. If that's the best pint I get all day, I don't mind. It's really, really good. Not the most incredible pint I've ever had, but I would give it a very strong, respectable 8.2 out of 10. I mean, it's good. It's good. Anything over an 8, I think, is a very good score. And 8.2. strong score.
I'll take that up here, to be honest.
You take it?
I'm from Ireland. I'm living in Letterkenny, but I'm not offended as my hometown's Downings. Do you know what I mean? Where we've got the Glen Bar and the Harbour Bar and some amazing bars down there, the Wee Bar, and they're bars. Whereas I come here and I'm living in Letterkenny. This is the only place I would come for a Guinness. So there is a couple of nice places for Guinness, so I'm not heartbroken with the 8.2 tonight, I think. But we'll get him up again and we'll go down to Downings and I'll give him some proper creamy.
Yeah, this old, what is it, the old Glen Bar?
The old Glen Bar, yeah.
Everyone talks about the old Glen Bar. We'll have to be hit someday.
It's an amazing pub, amazing atmosphere. Yeah. Creamy pints.
Right, sound for that, Eric. It's a solo run for the rest of the day. He's off to his...
I wish I could join him. Imagine
he's off to his big, important derby training, whatever it is. Definitely not as important as drinking pints. But thank you, Eric.
Thanks for having me. Sláinte, boys.
Sláinte. Okay, pub 2, the Central Bar. Literally, the Cottage Bar is there. Central Bar is here. I think Blake's is there. Not much walking to be done to burn the calories from the pints. Sláinte, that's pretty good domage on that baby. Not too many bubbles in the head. Head could maybe be a tiniest bit thicker. Also a glass, obviously. Sláinte. Good shit. Good shit. So the standard has kind of been set by, again lads, not sure what's going on with the light and never really know what the crack is with the light. Is there lines coming in my face or something? I don't know. Standard has been set in the Cottage Bar, a solid 8.2. Lovely little pub. My God, I can understand why Eric was saying that's his go-to for a few quiet pints before the night gets mad. Never seen a pub like it. But anyway, that's done. We're on to the Central Bar. Initial thoughts. Not a whole lot of difference between here and the Cottage Bar. I gotta be honest, people at Letterkenny might hear that and go, what are you on about? The Cottage is way better. There was plenty of recommendations for the Central as well, lads. It seems quite cold, but I'm not sure. It's hard to tell, like, unless you had a fucking thermometer. But that does feel a little bit colder than the last pub. Like, it's hitting the teeth a bit different, you know what I mean? The sensitive teeth, it's hitting it a bit harder than the Cottage Bar. So I'm not too sure, and it does feel quite cold in my hand. Maybe it's a degree or two colder than the last place. Again, taste is spot on. Similar to the Cottage Bar, could be a bit creamier. Head was, I would have liked the head a tiny bit bigger. I do like a lot of head. I mean, it's a decent pint. This bar is much more of, not in a bad way, but just much more of your kind of standard, just looks like a really standard pub, standard bar. Not a whole lot of crazy decorations or anything like that. Yeah, it's gas. All these pubs, between the first pub and the last pub, it's about 300 meters, and all the rest of the pubs are in between. And then we've a bit of a predicament on our hands because there was a place called Mcafferty's that was highly recommended that Google says is closed on Tuesdays. I'm here on a Tuesday. I actually got a message from them because I posted on Instagram where I'm going. I got a message from them saying we've changed our name, we've rebranded, and we're open. So I don't know, they probably will still miss out because Google said, I trust Google. Google said they were closed, and I've already put it out into the world, the 5 pubs I'm going to. And I know I did 6 in Wexford, but I'm not doing 6 today. I'm doing 5 today, so I might have to decide, does one of the other pubs on the list get the shunt for Mccafferty's? We will see. But yeah, that's a good point. Stick is looking like it's going to stay pretty good to the end. I don't even need to say all style glass. Imagine getting a new style glass. It's so funny, the more rural you go, the less chance there is of getting a new style of glass. It's literally only in, I think it's only really in Dublin, or maybe up north, like Belfast and that, like big cities, that you'll get the new glass. And I say new, it's 10 years old now. I think it was 2012 it came out. But I don't know if it's just being phased out or what, but these, I know for a fact, these rural pubs, not that Letterkenny's rural, but you know what I mean, these smaller towns, the pubs in these towns, they will not stand for the new glass. Like, this is just so superior to the new glass. And I'm delighted that it's not anywhere outside of Dublin / Belfast / the big cities. Long live the old style tulip. Stick looking sticky. Right, score time, crunch time. As I started the pint, I thought it was very close to the Cottage Bar. As I finished, the Cottage Bar had a much stronger finish. Cottage was an 8.2. It's still a very decent pint. I can't give it a 7 point anything, so I'm gonna go 8 flat. Cottage Bar still holds the lead. See you in the next pub. I think it's Blake's. Right lads, 2 pubs down. The Cottage Bar, which is right there. Central, which is there. Pub 3, Blake's Bar, which is here. Not much walking to be done in between these pubs. Usually it's nice to have a little bit of a stroll in between the pubs, freshen the brain, try not to get too pissed. But it's like a strip, it's like the Tenerife strip from my 6th-year holiday. Every pub is within about 2 seconds of each other. So we're going into Blake's. Yeah, interesting looking pub, the outside of it. Let's hope she's a good one. This is probably the second most. This and Cottage were probably the most recommended. Right lads, let's launch a serious head on that. I would say borderline too big, but they do say if it doesn't come down past the harp, it's okay. Borderline too big, but it looks like it's gonna be fucking creamy. Blake's, let's have it large. Cream on the tash. Do you know what lads? I think I prefer the head slightly bigger than most people. Like I said lads, I love a bit of head. Cracking joke, I've used it 1,000 times and I'll use it 1,000 more. But I just find when the head is quite, obviously you don't want the head down to fucking half the glass, but when it's just down above the harp, it's just guaranteed to be a creamy pint. And do you know what it reminds me of? I remember I posted the picture of Bowes in Dublin. Oh God, the burps are coming. Bowes in Dublin. And people said, oh, the head is too big on that. No, the odd person, it wasn't many people. But I thought it was perfect. And the head was just above the harp. Arguably too big, but it was one of the creamiest pints I've ever had in my entire life. Not saying this is one of the creamiest pints I've ever had in my entire life, but it's fucking creamy. Creamy gear. And this pub is gas. I don't know. Some pubs are like old school, and then some pubs are just like untouched. This pub looks like it has not changed a thing since the 60s. Honestly, I feel like I'm in a time machine. Very rare to see carpet in a pub. The seating, and again lads, like I've said before, I don't care once it's clean. It literally is like something out of the fucking 60s. I love it. It's like totally just untouched. It's gas. Anyway, the pint is good gear. Very good gear. Is it the best pint in Letterkenny? I'm moving the camera lads. I don't know why it's not focusing. For a love nor money, cannot figure out these cameras. Anyway, fuck it, it's grand. Pint is very good lads. Pint is very good. I would even go as far as saying pint is great. You've even got like records hanging up. This isn't, I've never seen a pub like the Cottage Inn. I've never seen a pub like Blake's. 2 of the most unique pubs I've ever seen. I must show you these records. I'll score this in a minute. I usually do the behind the footage, fucking behind the scenes clips after, but Boston, bit of Bruce Springer, Bob Dylan, U2, classics really. I feel like this pub has a bit of a, yeah, definitely whoever owns it, mad into their tunes, mad into their music, and I respect that. I think there's like a Rory Gallagher one there. Not that I know much Rory Gallagher, but I know Rory Gallagher seems to be one of those guys that it's like, if someone likes Rory Gallagher, then they're definitely a big music head. Whereas I couldn't name a single Rory Gallagher song. I know that's really embarrassing. But he's just one of those guys. I actually think Rory Gallagher is from Donegal. At least I knew that. Again, if that's wrong, apologies. But what are we talking about music for? It's about the punch. Thick, creamy ringage on that. Fat rings. I gotta do it. I gotta go 8.3. Don't mind. It's not an 8, it's not a 9. It's an 8.3. It's enough to take the top spot by 0.1 in Letterkenny. Right, lads, just out of Blake's, walking down the Letterkenny Main Street. How are you? I'm only going down the end here. I'm sound, thank you. Fucking local celebrity around here, shaking hands and kissing babies, doesn't stop for no one. I just a sound young buck offered me a lift down the road, but it's only about a 2-minute walk. So Mccafferty's has been subbed in because I put it up on Instagram. I thought Mccafferty's was closed. It was probably like the 3rd most recommended pub. Turns out it's open. There was some sort of a name change fiasco went on, I don't know, but it's open and it's meant to be a creamer. And I'm only doing 5 pubs. I'm not doing a Wexford job where I say I'm doing 5 and then I do 6. So I'm going to Mccafferty's now. So Mcginley's or brewery bar. It's gonna have to get the chop. Unfortunately, I hate to do it. It's harsh. I hate to do it. But I'm not doing 6 pubs, especially the fact that I'm driving home with my mother. I personally, everyone knows the limits. I can drink 5 pints and be absolutely grand. And I'm not trying to sound cool. I can. But once I hit the 6, I get a bit loopy, a bit tipsy, a bit half cut. So I'm heading to Mccafferty's. I'm getting pissed on. Good old Ireland. The fucking weather never improves in this country. I'm moving to Spain, lads. Seriously. Yeah, Mccafferty's now. And I did a poll on Instagram, so we'll see who gets the chop, Mcginley's or brewery bar. It's a cutthroat business. Right, lads, formerly known as Mccafferty's, now Sonny McSwine's. I presume the pint is still the same. I can smell the fresh paint from here. Only rebranded about a week ago. Let's go. Fuck's sake. I'm rushing this because I was talking. Looks just about perfect. Sorry lads, rushed. I got in, went to the bar, couple of mad owl lads chatting away, so it was kind of, usually I go in, not that anyone gives a bollocks, but the system is I walk in, approach the bar, 50% of the time they know the crack, like here they did, and 50% of the time they don't. I give them the spiel, 99% of the time they say, no problem, work away. I then go set myself up while they pour the pint, preferably somewhere near the front of the bar. Sorry, that TV's going 90 in the background. Somewhere near the front of the bar where the light is coming in. And then I set the camera up, you know, I might do a few stories and stuff like that. But then sometimes you get stuck at the bar, lads will randomly be talking to you. You don't want to be a prick and just be like, fuck off, and then they go away from them. So the pint was kind of brought over before I even put the camera on, so I couldn't even get footage of it, because I really, the thing I hate the most is to screw over a pub by letting the pint sitting around too long. I've probably been guilty of it in the very early days, and I don't think I've done it in a long time. My main priority, I think your man was trying to introduce me to the owner or something. I was like, for your benefit, I'm gonna cut this conversation short and drink the pint. See that going on? Is there anyone who knows anything about cameras can explain to me why the fuck the background is going 90 and the TV, I don't know what the fuck. Well, you can see me grand. Anyway, this is a lovely pint. It's actually a really nice pint, yeah. I'm trying to keep my head in front of that TV because it's going fucking mental back there. But yeah, stuck talking to a few outlads at the bar. I was like, I know you do that Guinness thing. And to be fair, if someone over the age of fucking 50 recognised me, my mind is blown. When I started this thing, I was thinking, you know, you have the 18 to sort of 30 demographic. Lads, the demographic is 18 to 118 because it's unbelievable. I've had some proper outlads be like, oh, you do the Guinness thing. Unbelievable. They don't even have social media. They just probably know my fucking face from something someone showed them. I don't know. But onto the pint. The pints have been pretty even around the place. We've an 8.2, an 8.0 and an 8.3 or something. So yeah, this one is right around there as well. Yeah, so I think this place was called Mcafferty's. They've still got the Mccafferty's fucking logo everywhere. Why isn't that focusing? But I think they're in their transition. So apparently there's a pub out the road called Mccafferty's and there was a bit of legal shit. Don't want to get into that. That's not my bag at all. But so these lads renamed themselves what the fuck's it called? McSwain's? Something McSwain's. So they're in that transition period, which is obviously awkward because people will probably always call it Mccafferty's. But anyway, Mcafferty's itself, which is this pub, was highly recommended. Then I googled it, it was closed, but it was the fucking other one out the country or something. So I finally got here and I'm glad I did. And unfortunately, I'm going to look at that Instagram poll and my heart's going to break because Mcginley's or the brewery bar is going to get the chop. And I put them up on my story. This is why I probably shouldn't put it up on my story where I'm going, because then there's room to let people down. And I don't let anyone down, lads, but it's a cutthroat business. This pint is serious, lads. This pint is serious. Jesus. Loving it. Really nice. Shtick is perfect. Can you see? Actually, I don't want to mess up the glass. I'll show you after. It's all about the aesthetic. That crack in the background, it's like the fucking pub is haunted. Seriously, lads, I need someone who knows about cameras to tell me why that's happening. Dorty. That's a savage pint, lads. This is a savage pint. Oof. Head is staying thick till the end. That was the one thing I thought the Cottage Bar lacked. The head got a little bit skinny towards the end. And then the head was a tiny bit too big in Blake's, but it was still a lovely pint, very creamy. But this head was kind of perfect size, really, really creamy, just as creamy as Blake's. Arguably a tiny bit tastier. Could be a big one coming. I could be fucking glad I came here. That's a serious point, lads. Again, a lot of people said Cottage Bar was best. A lot of people said Blake's was best. I can only judge. I've said it 1,000 times. I can only judge the pint that I get on the day. And look at that. That is a thing of beauty. Poured to perfection. I've got to do it, lads. I can't give it any less than an 8.4. Takes the top spot. It's a close, it's like Liverpool, Man City. It's close at the top of the league for the best pint in Letterkenny. And you know it's good when I've already had 3 pints and that didn't feel heavy or anything. And I'll be honest lads, I'm kind of fucking flying through these pubs because they're all so close together. Like I said, there's no walking distance between, so it's kind of hard to, you don't be hanging around a pub for ages. So that's the second last pub. That was savage. That was savage. 8.4. I don't know, I feel like people in Letterkenny be going, that place got an 8 point, that place is the best. I'm not saying it's the best, we still have one to go. But judge the pint you get on the day, and that was serious. Right lads, it is pissing rain in Letterkenny. Yeah, just out of Mccafferty's. There was a lot of confusion because there's a Mccafferty's up in the mountains or something. Apparently that was the one I was supposed to go to. And they were kind of having a bit of a naming war, and then that place changed their name to Sonny McSwine's. At the end of the day, the point they got in there was savage. I don't even know if that was a highly recommended pub, but the pint was savage, and I can only judge the pint on the day. Into Mcginley's across the road, last pub. Sláinte lads, pint looks like borderline perfection. Again, I don't know what you can see of me here. Camera's about to die, usual crack. Need to upgrade the camera. Another serious pint, even though it's looking like a serious lack of shtick situation. But again, like in Wexford last week, shtick was shite in that place called Culleton's, but it was one of the best pints I had. Creamy juice. I don't know lads, I thought like everyone's going on about the Cottage Bar, and I thought that was, I got the 8.2 in there and I thought that's it, game over, ball burst, that's as high as we're going to go. But I've been severely impressed by the rest of the pints I've had, and after drinking the first few mouthfuls of that, I know for a fact I won't be giving under an 8 in Letterkenny. So seriously impressive. Whatever I said outside is the last thing I'm going to say about the whole Mccafferty's situation. Mccafferty's Gate, it'll be known as for the rest of the time. Yeah, it was between Mcginley's and the brewery bar for the last pint, and I'm glad I came here because that's a serious creamer. Can't believe that. 5 pubs, not one pub under an 8. Seriously impressive. The weather has been abysmal. It was grand when I got here, and then it just went to absolute shit, but I will not let it dampen. I will not let the damp day dampen my spirits. We're here, we're having a few pints, we're having a crack. What more could you ask for? Donegal, people of Donegal have been crying out for a video. This is it, I've delivered. I'm like Ian Poulter, the postman. And what I said about the shtick lads, never judge a pint, never judge a book by its cover, never judge a pint by its first gulp. I used to say that years ago. Don't know why I stopped saying it. But I said at the start, the shtick is not going to be great. Boy was I wrong. Look how fat and creamy and white that head is, all the way to the bottom. Jesus, that's another contender for best pint in Letterkenny. People do always say you get good shtick on your pints because you drink them so fast. I agree. If you drink a pint slower, if you drink a pint over like 15-20 minutes, half an hour, you're not going to get shtick. But I drink all these pints at the same rate, and sometimes I still don't get shtick. But I was wrong. I judged it on the first gulp, which I shouldn't have, because the shtick is serious. I'm going to give it an 8.2, right up there in the mix with best pint in Letterkenny. Still Mccafferty's across the road, best pint. I'm going to sign off here. Very, 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 very impressed by the standard of pints in Letterkenny. Donegal has been real. I will be up to the Old Glen Bar, apparently one of the best bars in the world. A bit further than I could go today. That's been Donegal. Thanks for watching lads, and thank you to West Cork Beard Company for sponsoring the video. Hopefully I can get my shitty beard a bit better over the next few months. See you in the next one.